Welcome back, everybody, to the Idiots on a Podcast. Third week in a row, guys.
I just want to
Third
kill
week in a row.
myself.
I mean, you're right. So, just a
We're old
couple
enough to
things,
go
I
to pre-K.
guess. Old enough to go to pre-K. I guess, just a couple of things, I guess, that we should probably clarify before we start. So, Kurn, we're going to
Yes.
be switching the day the podcast comes out now, correct?
Yeah, we're good. I decided that instead of the beginning of the week, I decided Friday would be better. And by I decided, I mean I did a Twitter poll, and everyone else decided.
Wow, I mean,
Perfect.
Think, how many people did we actually have vote in this Twitter poll?
I can tell you right now. I'll look that up.
There was like, when I looked, I think it was like 5 or 6, which is honestly more than I thought.
Holy shit, bro! I'm fucking famous.
5 or 6 people voted.
Oh,
Twitter
George.
famous.
And now,
George.
6 people voted total.
We got 6.
And for
Holy
the
shit.
Twitter poll I held today, 2 people voted.
What was today's Twitter poll?
It was, what should we talk about?
What should we talk about?
Was sucking dick an option? Because if it wasn't, that's probably why we didn't get more people.
I
It
mean,
was
well,
video
you might be
games.
right about that.
It was video games, movies, TV, and anime.
I guess this will probably just end up being a combination of everything.
Yeah, it will.
I guess.
It's one of those
we'll talk
things
about
where you do a survey, but you know the decision beforehand.
exactly. You know damn well what you're gonna talk about.
It's like when
Alright,
Far
so-
Cry released a survey, like, where should the next game take place? And they clearly
But you already knew where you wanted it to be.
Yes, I killed myself.
George just killed himself in Bloodborne.
I had to chip damage away by doing the most damaging fall I can in the hub world, which is all of like 10 damage, and I finally managed to die.
Wait,
My
you
mission
died
is
in
complete.
Bloodborne? That's so rare.
Right? It never happens. I'm such a fucking pleb.
So, yo, Kern,
Yes.
can you, before we actually start talking about actual shit, can you explain to me how you, being in the, like, one of the hottest states in the country, got sick? What happened?
I always get sick when I come back to my school because the trip from New York to Florida, it's like such a change in just the climate.
Yeah, it's such a
My
change in
body
weather,
tries
you're
to
right.
adjust. Also, I fly, so I'm in an airport.
Ooh.
All of that
Are
would
you
be
right?
the answer. The actual answer is I visited my girlfriend and she got me sick.
Damn, man, that's like
That
the worst.
sucks.
That's the fucking worst.
I usually get sick from that. This time, I just plain old got sick from the
That
relationship.
actually sucks, man.
Wow.
That actually
It's
sucks.
put real strain on the relationship.
Hey, I'd be like, bitch, you got me sick. Like, what is this? I didn't choose for this.
What form of fuckery is this?
All right, so, Kern, I am shook today, man.
Oh my God.
I am.
Tell us about your
I
problems.
discovered something today that was honestly, it's absurdly obscene. Like, it's actually one of the dumbest things I've ever heard of.
Share with the class.
Okay, so there is this TV show / manga called Toriko. And by TV show, I mean obviously it's an anime.
Right, of course.
Now, there's huge spoiler warnings for anyone who hasn't seen Toriko or plans on seeing Toriko. But, like, I'm telling it to you guys because, like, I already told George already. And, like, you just, alright, you love, I remember you said this before, you love stupidly overpowered bullshit.
Oh, it's my favorite.
Bro,
The overpowered
this
character
is like,
is always my favorite character.
this is actually stupid. So, like,
Yeah.
alright, so get this. So, in Toriko is a Shonen Jump product.
Mhm.
So, you know, it's a typical battle shonen. I love the show, and I'm about to start reading the manga because the show pretty much censored the gore and violence, which I was like, nah, fuck that. So, I got something spoiled for me today later on in Toriko, and bro, I am like not even mad. So let me explain Toriko a bit, and then we will help you understand how ridiculous this actual shit is. So, Toriko's set in a world called the Gourmet World, where
Sounds
it's all
delicious.
about food. all about food. It's crazy, madness. And so gourmet hunters are people who hunt down food, and in their world, there are giant beasts that if you eat them, you'll get stronger and yada yada yada.
Okay.
So there's a technique in Toriko called knocking, and knocking is a non-lethal way of subduing an animal, a beast, whether it's a beast, a human. It's an ability to stop movement. All right. So you have the concept now of knocking, and what that means. Now, in their world, there's the god of gods, which is Acacia. Acacia is like the gourmet god. Like he's the strongest, most overpowered shit in existence. So he's dead, right?
Okay.
He's dead. So he has 3 disciples, which are like currently the strongest shits on the planet. One of these guys is called Knocking Master Jiro. He's the master of knocking. All right? He's an absolute fucking animal. And he's like 500 years old. The man's disgustingly old. Bro, alright, so get this shit, right? Alright, let me set this up for you real quick. Just so you can fathom the absurdity of this. So, they're fighting one of the villains, Joa. Either one of the villains or, So they're on an island, right? And Jiro shows up.
This is getting weirder and weirder.
Yeah, so
I have no idea.
Jiro shows up, right? In front of Joa, and they start spewing this nonsense to him. And he literally is like, "Are you an idiot?" And bro, he starts flexing and his muscles start to bulge. Bro, alright. Bro, legit, this guy. So he punches the ground, right?
Okay.
Punches the ground. And, bro, the next panel, after that shot, they show the planet.
Oh,
and at that point, you just know. You just know. As soon as you see the planet, you're just like, fuck no. This shit is going to be absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And by the way, fun fact, in Toriko, it's not the Earth. It's, they're not on a different planet, but like, it's assumed it's Earth, but it's not actually Earth.
It's Earth.
It's a planet that is, it is a planet that is 5.5 times bigger than the Earth.
Oh.
5.5 times bigger than the Earth. So this man punches the ground, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, everyone can't move. This fucking guy, you remember that concept of knocking?
Yeah.
Of stopping the move?
He knocked everyone?
He knocked the rotation of the planet. And everything stopped. And then Joa explained it. He slowed the rotation of the Earth to almost the brink of a complete halt. That is one of the most ridiculous things I've heard happen. Whose man's is this? Bro, come on.
So in that the rotation of the planet is like connected to time.
No, literally. Let me put it to you this way.
Well, the world froze, right?
No. Well, that's just how they made it. Like
that's how they made it seem. It's literally just like no one could move. He knocked everyone. You're right. He did knock everyone. But that is only a side effect of him actually of that power slowing down the rotation of the planet. Everyone else just happened to be knocked along with it.
Oh,
that's retarded. That's
all I can think of from
I didn't even fucking do. Bro, and then you know what the best part is?
What?
George went online, and he actually searched up like how in actual science and how it actually like what needs to happen for that to actually like.
Basically, NASA was just like, yeah, it's the chances of this happening are basically 0. But if it were to happen, like, all right, they explained it this way: if the Earth were to just do what he did and just stop, like the rotation,
wouldn't everyone go flying forward?
Yeah, the atmosphere would continue to move, but the Earth would stop, and everything that isn't connected to bedrock would literally be flung into the atmosphere.
Because the momentum.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's just, dude, like, it's so stupid. Like, how do you, dude?
You know what that
when I
reminds
had
me
that
of?
explained, bro, that's
What?
actually stupid.
The first Superman movie with Christopher Reeves, where he
When
flies
he
around the Earth so
when he
fast
flies
he
around
spins it in
and
the other direction.
yeah, dude, that's the definition of just what the fuck.
It's broken.
And somehow that reverses time.
Like it. I don't know, man. Toriko's a weird show. Like
Toriko is a weird show, but I love it.
it's some shit.
And that's literally one of the most stupid feats I've ever heard of.
I mean, I think that's pretty
It
cool.
boggles my mind. It is fucking cool. Yo, this guy's like 500 years old. And he just, bam! What? Dude, come on, bro. Come on.
It's
Like,
fucking absurd.
it is fucking absurd. It's, you know what? That's just like a side. That is a side conversation that I just wanted to have real quick. So, I've had a lot of thought on this
Mm-hmm.
in the past couple like days and stuff like that. I thought it'd be an interesting topic to bring up to everyone.
No,
And
that's very interesting.
it,
I could tell
it's
this affected
actually,
you greatly.
oh, dude, stop. It's, moving on from Toriko, I can't stick on it. If I do, it's just
He'll die.
my brain will just come out of my fucking ass. So like, all right. So it's funny how you made that poll for what to talk about today, and it's funny because this actually kind of applies to everything. You know, all those topics that you wanted to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess I'll tell you guys the main subject, and I guess we'll just branch off from there into whatever directions we see.
Okay.
Sequels.
Sequels.
So now, all right. Here's the thing with the sequel. I personally love sequels because it's a continuation of an already established thing that, you know, that if you like it and you get more of it, fucking, it's supply and demand, bro.
Are you referring specifically to movies?
Now, here's my thing. The sequel situation is very different to each medium that we usually talk about.
Mm-hmm.
With movies, it's like, with movies, it's actually kind of stupid, the overabundance of sequels, honestly.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Everything is a sequel. There's like almost nothing that's actually an original concept. And once we finally get something that is an original concept, it gets a fucking
5
sequel.
sequels.
It gets 5 of them. Fuck it. And, bro, the Transformers sequels are still fucking going. And
They're
they're
still
garbage.
happening.
But they make
I'm
a lot
done
of
with
money,
them.
so like, I mean, they're a lot of money.
With them.
They make a lot of money. So like, from a corporation standpoint, I understand sequels. And from a fan standpoint, if you are a fan of a certain thing, and you want to see it keep going, fucking, you know, whatever makes you happy. But dude, some of these sequels, and it's just such an
Oh, it died again.
Is
overabundance. Like,
there a,
bro,
is
I
there
don't-
a specific
I
sequel
don't need-
that's really digging at you right now?
My only thing is that I fear for oversaturation.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just more of a fear that, I mean, all right, me and George kind of, me and George have touched upon this before. So my fear is an oversaturation of like Star Wars, for example.
Oh, I completely agree.
I'll throw this over at George because I know he feels a lot stronger about it than I do.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'll just have you explain your take on it. Because I remember we did have a conversation about this a lot.
Okay. Well, I mean, all right. Let's first, for anyone who doesn't know, so obviously Disney bought Star Wars, and when they first bought Star Wars as like a conglomerate, they were like, so we plan on making a new Star Wars movie every year for the next 40 years.
Actually, their
And
quote was for the next 100 years.
Oh, well, even fucking better. Like, all right, I'll be realistic. Technically speaking, if Disney got to the point where they were like, okay, we're gonna start making certain aspects of the extended universe canon, you know, making movies out of them, then like, yeah, they have a shit ton of material to work with.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, the EU
Well,
is.
well, remember, they plan on 50-50 linear episodes and anthologies that will not get sequels. They've said we do not want anthologies to sequels. I mean,
Like,
sequels to
it's-
anthologies. So there won't be a Han Solo 2.
Yeah, but like the
Yeah,
problem
the
is
problem
that,
is
like,
it's just like,
how
but
do
see,
you-
like even if they're not direct sequels, it's just that oversaturation of Star Wars. The fact that there's gonna be fucking bro, are you kidding me? Back until like a couple years ago, dude, there were only 6 Star Wars movies. And if you go even further back, there are people from who were, were watching the original Star Wars. Bro, there were only fucking 3 of them.
Yep.
And now we're up to the point where there's going to be 9. And this is just the start of it. This is literally just the start of the Disney Star Wars shit, man.
Well, one thing to remember is, back before Disney bought it, yeah, it was 6 movies. It was also 5,000 comic books, 11 million TV shows.
Yeah, but see, we're talking about that. We're talking about
More
that
video
as
games.
that's an extended universe, though.
Yeah.
So you're talking specifically movies, it's getting out of hand.
I'm talking about because the comic book sequel and lineages is just a whole different matter.
Yeah, because
Honestly.
like, if we wanted to talk about some ridiculous sequels and like in the vein of comic books, like DC and Marvel have that shit down pat. Because how many times have they rebooted their universes?
Too many.
Marvel?
Exactly.
Never.
Too many.
Hasn't Marvel rebooted their universe?
Marvel has never rebooted, and the X-Men series has only rebooted once, but they rebooted in a way that the old movies were still canon. They basically
Oh, no,
had
no,
a
no,
movie
no,
where
no,
they
no,
go
no.
back in
He's-
time and change something.
Bro, he's not. He's talking about the comics, not the movies, man.
Oh, the movies? The comics reboot every 5 seconds.
Yeah, he's talking about the comics
Yeah,
in
that's
general.
what I'm talking about. No, not movies.
Yeah, he's not talking
I'm
about
talking
the
about
movies.
strictly just comics.
Oh,
Because
the
comics
comics, yeah.
reboot and they redo their
Yeah,
universes all the time.
Yeah, because comics is different. You have DC with DC and Marvel and all the
Well,
Star Wars
Marvel
stuff.
tries
It's
to
madness.
Marvel tries to not reboot, and if they do, it's a separate universe. DC hits
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
reboot button every year.
they make it the excuse of a separate
Exactly.
timeline.
They had
Yeah,
the New 52,
but I mean, like,
now Rebirth.
yeah. Yeah.
Crisis on
Yeah,
Infinite
no.
Earths was a
Yeah,
reboot.
no. I totally understand, but it's just it goes more along with the fear that like dude, when we knew we were getting episode 7, the hype was real. The
Oh,
hype
absolutely.
for episode 7 was unreal. And now it's just like I don't want it to get to the point where like, all right, don't get me wrong, I'm still so fucking excited for The Last Jedi. I cannot
It's gonna be
fucking wait
stupid,
for The
bro.
Last Jedi.
But can we get
sick,
a break
dude.
in between them?
Exactly, that's the point. If it's like, I don't want to get to the point where it's like,
Because the other thing is that all the episodes tie into one cohesive story. Like even if there's like giant gaps of time between them, it's all one cohesive story. Because even in the Star Wars comics and in the extended universe, there's technically separate timelines, different versions of different characters doing different things, making different decisions. But if they want to do 50 episodes, like how? Like I understand they can go back in time way before the prequels, because in timeline order, Episode 1 is very late in the timeline of Star Wars. Like they could
As a whole.
yeah, they could make fucking 100 movies based off the EU before that, but eventually it's gonna get to a point where it's just like, all right,
I don't care anymore.
yeah, you need to stop.
Yeah.
Like now you're milking the cow way too much. That shit's been dead.
Like,
It's very similar.
and-
It's very similar, and with Star Wars, that's just one entity. But it's very similar, speaking of comic books, too, this new Hollywood trend going on called superhero fatigue. Where, do you know how many superhero movies there were in 2006? In
2006?
2016?
Not
2016, too many.
6.
Too many.
There were
Yeah,
6.
that's way too many. Yeah, see, look, and
This
like,
year alone, 2017, we're going to have 3 Marvel movies.
what are we getting this year? We're getting
We had
Spider-Mans?
Guardians of the
Spider-Man.
Galaxy, Spider-Man Homecoming, and Thor Ragnarok.
Wait, when is? Oh no, Infinity War starting next year, right?
yeah, that's gonna be
Infinity
next
War is
year, and
starting
then we
next year,
have
but we're getting Justice League
and
as
then
well. We got
we're getting Justice League, and we got Wonder Woman.
And was Logan this
That's
year?
5.
Was Logan 2017?
Logan was this year.
Logan was
that,
also
that's
this year.
6.
That's 4 Marvel movies.
And we also got Luke Cage, Iron Fist, The Defenders on Netflix. All
Yeah.
3. We got 3 full seasons of that.
The ongoing DC shows.
The ongoing DC shows. The Tick just came out. Fuck
Yeah,
They just
that's
launched
another
a new
one.
They just launched a new CW
Oh,
DC show called Black
man.
Lightning.
What?
Oh, that's
Really?
fucking awesome. That's Static Shock when he gets older.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah.
I did not
No,
know
that's
about this.
I thought that was the guy who like teaches Static.
Oh, it might be.
Doesn't he
No,
become
no.
Static?
I think it's a
Doesn't Static
separate
Shock
Yeah, I think
become
Static.
like-
I think
Yeah.
Static never
We
changes
have
his name.
the internet.
See, we do have the internet, but like, all right. So,
Static never changes his
see,
name.
yeah. See, I understand the hero fatigue because like, see, that's another thing. We get so many hero movies. Yo, do you understand? In 2008, we got Iron Man, the Hulk, fucking Hellboy, and we got The Dark Knight.
Yep.
In that 1 year, that year was absolute insanity because everyone lost their fucking minds. There's so many fucking superhero, and we thought it was so unique to have that many.
We're like,
And now
wow,
it's just
we're
like, oh, I
finally
wonder
getting
what
recognition
fucking
as comic book fans.
right. And it's like, oh, I wonder. Now it's just like, oh, I wonder how many they're gonna make this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like,
I actually have a new
it's
policy when it comes to DC movies, which is, if it gets bad reviews, I'm just not seeing it. That's why I saw Wonder Woman opening week, and I still to this day have not seen Suicide Squad. The only exception is I'm a huge Superman fanboy. If Superman's in the movie, I'll see it regardless. But like the Batman, no interest until it gets good reviews. Flash, until it gets good reviews, I don't care.
I'll say
Aquaman,
it's just
it has Jason Momoa, so maybe.
like Game of Thrones, bro.
I need it.
I mean,
Tells you
see,
where
like,
I'm going in the water.
I don't know, man. For me, it's just more. You know, and I like the Marvel movies too. Like, obviously,
Oh, they're
I'm
great.
gonna say it
That's
right
why
here.
they keep making it.
Well, all right. So here's my thing. I am a DC fan, but obviously, I'm not gonna get into the DC movies. My thing with the Marvel movies is that they just all feel the same, and a lot of the sequels don't feel like they tried. Iron Man 2 was ass.
Iron Man 2
Iron Man
might be the
3
worst of them all.
What are you talking? Iron Man 3 was ass, bro. Iron Man
Oh,
3
yeah,
was
Iron
the
Man 3
fucking
was ass.
worst. What they did to the Mandarin was a disgrace, dude. It was awful. Like, to fucking Thor, I don't give a shit about the Thor movies. I really could care less. The only thing I like about Thor movies so far is one where he's like, "Bring me a horse," and when he just walks into the pet store. That was amazing.
Yeah.
I don't care much for the Thor movies. Guardians of the Galaxy, amazing.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
I love that
I
shit.
still haven't
That's
seen the
it.
second one.
The
I really want
best
to.
Marvel movies are the ones that deviate from the format.
Look at Ant-Man. Ant-Man was
Ant-Man.
fucking awesome.
It was
I
great.
didn't see Ant-Man either. I'm so movie.
That one's
deprived.
But what's great, bro? Oh man. But see, like, what I'm okay with. See, I'm okay with like the Captain America movies because they did a reverse Iron Man,
Yeah, they're
where
kind of cool.
one was like, all right, cool, this is a good movie. 2 was awesome, and then Civil War was just fucking delicious.
I feel like everyone forgets that Civil War was a Captain America movie.
Well, a lot of
Yeah,
people
because
also
it
think
felt
that
like an Avengers movie.
a lot of people also think Winter Soldier was better than Civil War.
I thought it was better.
Then
I liked
Soldier
it.
was really
See,
fucking good.
I liked it better than Civil War. The only problem with Civil War is that it felt really cluttered. But
Also-
that's what happens when you get an abundance of people.
Well, do you know the
hold on,
origin
real
behind that
quick,
script?
Well, yeah, no.
I mean the Civil War script about why it feels so hectic.
I mean, it's supposed to be like that.
Well, what happened
It's
was
supposed to feel like.
they were negotiating because they didn't know if Robert Downey Jr. would be in the movie. And they didn't
Really?
know if the deal with Sony
Probably-
would go through and they'd get Spider-Man. So they wrote 4 versions of the script. One with Iron Man and Spider-Man, one with Iron Man and not Spider-Man, one with Spider-Man, not Iron Man, and one with neither. If Iron Man
It
didn't
would have
do
been
the
a
movie,
disaster.
if Iron Man didn't
It
do
would
the
have been a
movie, it would have been
disaster.
a Suicide Squad thing. Where those guys in the tank,
It would
I
have been-
think, would have been actual villains.
But it would have been a disaster without Iron Man.
Well, they wouldn't
You
have done
can't do
Civil
this-
War. They would have done a different story.
Yeah, exactly, and it would have been a
It would have
hectic
been
mess.
about Bucky being framed and saving him.
Here's the thing with Civil War, because I love comics and I love the stories, but I haven't read very many. And from what I've heard, and this is a spoiler for like the comics, damn it, if you haven't read them or ever care to read them,
I think it's all
so
enough.
in the comic for Civil War, at the end, Captain America, is it Captain America or Iron Man? One of them dies,
Captain America.
don't they?
He
Captain
doesn't
dies.
die.
And they couldn't kill him off in the movie.
He doesn't die
Well-
in the end of Civil War. He dies. He's
I thought he
arrested
did.
in the end of Civil War, and in the first issue of Captain America after Civil War, he dies. So technically, in the end, he just gets arrested, and the next comic, on the way to jail, he's shot.
Gets fucked. But like, I feel like that's like a big reason why a lot of people didn't like the ending of Civil War, because generally, as a whole, it was received very well.
It was great.
It was a dope ass movie. Like, I'm not a big movie buff, so I don't see a lot of the small, like, critiques and the little problems that people who are bigger into movies do pick up on.
Oh,
so I'm a much
I love it.
simpler person. So like, to me, like, so I watched Civil War and I was just like, well, this shit is fucking lit.
Yeah, dude.
Awesome.
Honestly, dude, you know what scene just gave me chills? It's something so just watching Black Panther run through the highway.
Oh, I was dope.
I was like, bro, I sat there and I was like, I was just looking at the screen and just the one thing I can be grateful for this overabundance of like superhero movies, bro, I never fucking dreamed I'd be seeing Black Panther running on a highway with Captain America. Bro, it's a dream come true. Honestly, it is a dream come true.
Of the reviews of the movie is love it or hate it, Black Panther was fucking sick.
Exactly, and Spider-Man was fucking awesome too. It was fantastic. It was fantastic.
Wait, Oscar, did you see Homecoming?
I didn't see Homecoming.
Neither did I. I really wanted to. Was it good? I heard it was really good.
Oh, it's so good.
I heard he's like the best Spider-Man that has existed in cinema.
Hands down. Best Spider-Man, best Peter Parker, most accurate to the comics, because Spider-Man is supposed to be a high school student. This is the first time he looks like a high school student. He's not a whiny little bitch. He's not an emo punk.
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man was like way too cool. Like skateboarding through the halls.
Was that the Amazing Spider-Man?
Yeah, but see, no, his Peter Parker was way too cool.
Yeah,
his Spider-Man was awesome. That attitude he had was great when he was Spider-Man.
And that's like Tobey Maguire missed, but this one, Tom Holland nailed it on like all fronts.
Oh, dude, I knew it was gonna. From the moment I saw him in Civil War, I was like, bro, you're gonna be a great Spider. Honestly, the one thing
best part of Homecoming is Spider-Man is like, no, it's just that Spider-Man's not as powerful as everyone. He's not as big league as everyone. So his villain shouldn't be like a blue dude from space trying to blow up the Earth. He is taking on the head of a gang, essentially, with some high-tech gadgets. The world's not going to end if Spider-Man fails. It's just like
the best part is
scale fits.
The best part is Vulture was played by Michael Keaton, who was fucking Batman. That's hilarious, dude. I love that fact.
Going back to like what Oscar was saying about sequels, though, and then getting like dragged out. All right, now we're bringing it into some legitimate rage territory.
We're going to video games.
Oh yes. Okay.
Ah shit.
So
I wanted to start with movies first because it was mostly about. It was honestly mostly my problem with most sequels are just the big blockbuster sequels, because like they're mostly made to make money, not for their quality, except for the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
But like, all right.
Which you can't get super mad at because it's a corporation. Their job is to make money.
Yeah. Conglomerates, bro. George.
Capitalism, man. That's how it works.
Video game sequel.
Okay. Let me get mad real quick. All right.
Before you do, can I just say
you
one thing?
Talk?
The philosophy that a video game sequel is supposed to have is two rules: more, but better.
Yeah. And guess what you don't get? A solid, I'll be fair, 80% of the time with AAA video games and their sequels, you either don't get more, but you get better. You get better, but not more. Or you don't get either. Like, all right,
or you get something, and because the first game gave you nothing, you think it's great. You think it's an innovation. Like Titanfall 2, Battlefront 2, single-player story isn't an added feature. It's something you were missing last time that you remembered this time, or got yelled at for this time.
Yeah, and especially since, bro, Titanfall 2, from what I've seen of the gameplay and from what I played of it,
I beat it. That's an amazing story.
The gameplay's better. The gameplay's better, and I've watched George play throughout the story, and I'm like, fuck yeah. I'm like, this is what I needed. This is great.
Yo, but all right, as far as our time goes as gamers, not the games that we played that came before our time that we know
Ubisoft.
Of, But
Worst
as
sequels.
far as we go as gamers in releases that have come out while we've been alive, as bad as Assassin's Creed has been, I will admit, the worst, the biggest offender, by far, for doing sequels all the wrong ways is Call of Duty. Hands down.
Absolutely.
Because once the train started, it has not stopped. Like,
Can we
they've
officially
some
just call
diamonds in the
Call of
rough,
Duty-
but like, no.
Can we call Call of Duty 3 different franchises?
Why?
Because
Well,
the way
'cause of
they
the
have their
separating
dev
story.
cycle. Like, if,
Oh,
you,
with the
if
three
you're a
developers.
fan
Yeah,
of Modern
with the three
Warfare,
developers.
you get a game every 3 years. If you're a fan of Black Ops, you get
Yeah.
a game every 3 years.
See, but the problem is that, like, all right, they didn't start the 3 developer cycle until what, like 2 years ago, 3 years? No, 2 years.
No, more than that.
I think it was after.
More than that.
No,
it
it's
was
more
no,
than
no.
that. It's been a while, bro.
Call of Duty.
It's
I
been a
want to say
while.
Call of Duty 4 was the first game. No, I know
Yeah,
Call of Duty
no,
4
it's
was made by
been- it's
Infinity
been-
Ward, and then 5
And then
was Treyarch,
Treyarch.
and then 6 was Infinity Ward, and it was back and forth for a while, and then they added Sledgehammer with
Yeah.
Yeah, but
with
Sledgehammer
Advanced
came in after
Warfare.
Ghost, didn't they?
No,
Yeah,
yes,
the
it
Ghost
came
has
after Ghost. They made
Ghost
Advanced
has been a while,
Warfare.
man.
Yeah, dude, Ghost was only, what, 2013?
It's 4 years now, man. That's 2 years.
No, I said 2, 3 years. No, I said a few years. Whatever I said.
Yeah.
It's been more
See,
recent.
my
Because, like, when you talk about the original Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare, that's, like, us in, like, middle school.
Mm-hmm.
So, like,
yeah, it's been a fucking while.
Like,
Call
it
of Duty
started
Modern
a
Warfare
long
2.
time ago.
Modern Warfare 2
Oh,
was my
baby.
first Xbox 360 game.
Holy,
It was
Modern Warfare 2.
fantastic.
See, Modern
Bro,
Warfare
even-
2 was the first sequel in the franchise from the modern age, because I have to classify, like, Big Red 1,
Like 1 through
and
1 through
back.
3.
Yeah,
One
that
through
that
three?
is a separate. That's a separate entity.
Yeah.
But like from 4 onwards, Modern Warfare 2 was like the perfect COD sequel.
Because it was, and like it.
Oh,
First of all, it brought color back to the series. Thank God.
Mm-hmm.
The AI was fantastic. The multiplayer was great, and honestly, I love Modern Warfare 2. I love it to death.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to say, I might like Black Ops more. I
did too.
loved Black Ops. Bro, that story was amazing.
That story is great.
And the zombies was hilarious, bro. You tell me I could play as a president? Kill zombies? Bro, stop.
Black Ops was really really good, but like it's just after Black Ops is when it started to go down.
The numbers makes it. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I heard Black Ops 2 was fantastic too.
Yeah, but then
Black Ops
before
2 was
But then we
alright.
just got too many. That's
The
the problem. We
first
just
shitty
got too
one-
many.
The first shitty one was Modern Warfare 3. That game sucked.
But dude, I fucking hated Modern Warfare.
Wait a minute, wait. We're missing something. It was Modern Warfare. Was World at War before Modern Warfare 2?
Yes.
Well, no,
It was, right?
Yes.
So then,
that
World
is
at
Call
War
of
was
Duty
5.
And then Modern Warfare
Yeah,
2
that's
is
COD
6.
5.
Okay, so then I take it back. Modern Warfare 2 was not the first. Well, I mean, unless you count the Modern Warfare.
I loved World at War.
World
I
at War was
loved that
really
game.
good. But let me tell you something. My first exposure to World at War, I played that bitch on the original Wii. Ooh, baby.
Bro, I would
that
watch
game
it.
was trash.
Yeah, I would.
played it on the Wii.
Bro, I would literally watch George try to play this shit online with the Wii. I was fucking terrible.
Oh, it was horrible.
Awful.
But
Bro,
unfortunately, I can beat that. Because I was once complaining to
Wow.
a friend of mine about how shitty the Wii version is, and he just, in a hold my beer moment,
I know what he's going to say.
went and
I know
handed
exactly
me
what he's gonna say.
the DS version.
Yep. There it is.
my
I played it
fucking
before.
God.
It's so bad.
It's so stupid, man.
Oh, it was
I caught
bad.
3. I caught 3 on the Wii.
See, but here's the
That was
difference.
bad. But
Here's
see, but even so, like, it's just, it feels so lazy and just manufactured. Like, there's no heart in it, man.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the difference between the DS and the Wii version, though. The DS is Modern Warfare, but it's like a little spin-off series, as handhelds tend to have when there's a main series on the home console.
Call of
The
Duty Black
Wii
Ops
version was
Declassified.
supposed to. Yeah, the Wii version was supposed to be competing with the Xbox 360 and the PS3.
Same
That's
story,
why it's a
same
problem.
maps.
No,
With
it's
shitty
straight up.
graphics.
I played GameCube games that looked better than that.
Mhm.
Like, what? What?
But it's
It was just a bunch of polygons. Just
Yeah.
half the game was untextured, slightly colored polygons.
Especially the
It's
Russian levels where it's like, oh,
horrendous.
gray mixed with gray.
looks like ass.
Yeah,
It just straight up looked like ass. It's gray on gray on gray. It just it looked awful, and
All right, let's talk about the other spectrum of sequels.
oh, by the way, actually, you know what? I do want to ask you guys about the question I have with this is. All right, so Destiny 2. Now,
Somewhere John
See,
is
here's my thing
full
with-
sprint on the way over.
Oh
yeah,
my
you
God.
probably fucking hear us. My thing with Destiny 2 is that, like, there were so many fucking DLCs to the point where, like, just the DLCs are a whole separate game, too.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a story
And-
about that when you're done.
And, like, I really don't know what to, like, say about Destiny 2 because, like, it does just, like, maybe I'm missing something here because I didn't play the original Destiny and, like, it's DLCs all the way through. Unless someone can clarify this to me besides, like, a new story, it literally just looks like more Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of what people want.
But
This
if a sequel doesn't, would you want a sequel that's just the same?
this is literally what Destiny is as a first-person modern-day shooter.
Mhm.
Destiny is the first-person equivalent of World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft has been the same game with just new powers, weapons, and areas, but it's still just building off vanilla World of Warcraft. Like it's the type of game.
Yeah,
where,
but yeah, have any of these things been called Warcraft 2?
Huh?
I'm not.
No.
But that's what I'm saying.
That?
This is.
I
How,
don't
do you
know.
guys
No,
know?
they-
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why they
Because-
decided to do a Destiny 2. Because with DLC, you can add new maps, new weapons, new enemies, and a new story, but you still are working with the same engine. It still all has to function the way Destiny 1 worked. So
Yeah, but if
2
it's the
is
exact
an
same.
upgrade to the engine itself. The gameplay
They
itself.
also said the two was. They also said 2 was supposed to be the game that they wanted Destiny 1 to be.
Yes.
See, like,
They made
yeah,
the first game too difficult to update with new expansions.
That's because most of the team that was working on it originally left, so it just completely fucked the development
Should
cycle.
have stuck with Halo.
Mm-hmm.
If only they could have.
Oh, I don't even want to.
But no,
Oh,
hold
half
man.
the people left Bungie to go to 343.
on.
Yeah, but the new Halo games are just dude.
The last Halo game I played was 4, and I mean,
I played 4. It was alright. I mean, the Forerunner weapons were fucking sick, man.
Yeah.
And the visuals at the time were breathtaking. But 5. Now, I didn't get a chance
I
to
haven't
play
touched
5
5
as
yet.
per I don't have an Xbox One. I heard either just good or like good as in just like good period. Like not like oh dude it was so good. No, I heard
Mhm.
average.
but god damn, the harsh reviews for 5 were bad, dude. Like there were people saying like, yo, we were fucking just straight up lied to. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
no, the
fuck, dude, that
trailer-
sounds terrible.
The trailer is promoting a story that the game does not have.
Yeah, because the
It's all
entire
about
promotion.
Master
I will,
Chief versus
Yeah, it-
Locke. Those
Spartan
two
Locke.
do
That-
not, do
that
not
trailer-
fight each other.
Dude, that trailer campaign was just it as
Bro, they went so far as to make hashtags.
bro, if it,
Hashtags.
if like dude that trailer campaign was honestly one of the greatest promotional campaigns I've seen that ended up for absolutely nothing.
It's
It's
From
like
what I
Batman
heard.
v
To the point
Superman.
that-
You name the
Yeah,
whole movie
they're
Batman
hy-
versus Superman, and they're in the room together for maybe 5 minutes. They're fighting for
Bro,
maybe
they-
5 minutes of the entire movie, if that.
They hype. It's like if the
Yeah.
Floyd Mayweather fight happened, and then they ended up talking it out in the ring.
Yep.
And they hugged it up basically.
Or if one
Yo,
of them,
them-
or if they were in the ring together for a grand total of like 3 minutes, and the rest is them fighting other people.
Can we talk about the fact that, like, real quick, not going to dwell on the entire fight or anything, but, like, the memes that have come
From the Mayweather
Floyd
McGregor fight
Oh,
are
my
great.
God. The Titanic memes are my
I
favorite.
love that one, dude. That shit is amazing. But, and like just alright. Here's how Halo went for me, right? 1, beautiful.
Yep.
Gorgeous. Beautiful. I loved it. My personal favorite, I love 2. Out of the
2's
original
really good.
trilogy, I do love 2. Except for obviously the parts where I had to play as the fuck. I'm not going to talk
You
about
didn't like Arby?
it. No!
You don't like the Arbiter?
First of all, bro,
As a character, he's a great character.
as a great person once said, one of the guys from All Time Gaming, I want to play Halo 2, not Halo 2 his fucking mate, alright? I'm playing Halo to play as fucking Master Chief. But either way, the gameplay was stellar and it gets a pass for me. 3, what more can you say about Halo 3 that hasn't been said already? Tight, great, beautiful. I'm not into RTSs, so Halo Wars wasn't really something I was into, but
we
as a
have
game,
some
it wasn't
friends
bad.
that will defend that game to the death.
Yep. Yes, we do.
But see, that's fine because like as an actual game, it's not bad. It just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
It
then
translates well because the
ODST
original Halo was supposed to be an RTS.
yeah, and then
ODST is like
ODST was just a base generic Halo game.
If you're like
ODST is
a
actually one of my
hardcore Halo fan,
favorites.
really?
Really?
Because, well, here's not the flashback missions, but in between the flashback missions, you're in a hub world that's a city, and you're not playing as a Spartan, you're playing as a Marine, and it's night, and there's not wave after wave of enemy coming at you, but there are patrols. Motherfucker, they found a way to turn Halo into a stealth game. I don't have any fond memories of the actual, like, flashback missions, but wandering around that city at night trying to sneak past brute foot soldiers, I still remember fondly successfully sneaking by them.
I mean,
that's cool.
When I played ODST, it was kind of because back then I didn't know that ODST wasn't going to have Master Chief in it, and I was just struck with that overwhelming disappointment. But then, like, all right, an example of a game that didn't have Master Chief, Halo Reach, bruh. Noble 6 is a god.
Yeah.
Noble 6 is a god. That final mission hurts my soul.
Dude, oh man, dude, I love the Noble team. Bro, legit. For me, like, it's hard for me to choose between 2 and Reach. Because Reach, dude, Reach is fantastic.
I played the shit out of Reach.
Yeah, dude, it was,
Reach was
fantastic.
It was.
It was addicting because it was
Reach
it
well
ran
into
like
4's
butter,
lifetime.
dude. It ran like butter. It was fantastic.
Because Reach was so much better than 4.
Yeah.
It's like you play through 4 once for the sake of the story, you see all the new stuff, the Forerunner weapons are dope, and it's just like, alright, back to Reach.
I will say one thing on 4's behalf. For the 360, fuck, those graphics are good.
Yeah, that's what I said. Them shits is
Especially
amazing.
the cutscenes.
Oh, bro.
The cutscenes are great, and especially since even just wandering around and seeing the planets off in the distance, beautiful. It was gorgeous. It was great.
Like, you look at a person and you
like
go,
I
that's
said,
a person.
Yeah, and like I said, my favorite part about 4, actual gameplay wise, bro, the Forerunner weapons were fucking awesome.
Because the first time you pick one up, you're like, what the fuck?
Oh shit!
Yo, after that point,
sick.
once the Forerunner weapons got introduced, I never picked up a human or a Covenant weapon again in that game.
Why would you? Them shits were fucking dope.
That
That disintegration shotgun.
Whoa!
So good.
Maybe my favorite weapon in all of Halo.
So let me just skew the conversation once again to the other side of video game sequels that is more painful than getting a shitty sequel, is being in that years upon years of limbo of not hearing about a sequel that should be happening. Kingdom Hearts 3. That's my
happening.
life, bro.
You hear about it.
It is happening, but we know about it now. For 8 years, it was just like, it's never coming. Do you know how many memes exist of Kingdom Hearts 3 never happening? Like, too many. Too many. I'm pretty sure there's subreddits dedicated to that topic alone. Not Kingdom Hearts 3 as a whole, but the fact that it's never
just the idea of Kingdom Hearts 3 not even existing.
Like,
for a long time, it was just more.
Did you hear the most recent news on Half-Life 3?
Oh, that one of the developers
yeah.
left and just leaked an entire story.
He
from the end
leaked
of episode 3.
because the game is just never coming out. He leaked the script.
Yeah.
With all the names changed, he leaked the
shocking.
story.
It was actually shocking. That was pretty fucking cool.
But that's just confirmed it's not happening.
So
no, it's not.
I have to just mention something that's happening behind the scenes right now on me and Oscar's end. So I have Bloodborne on my TV right now. I'm sitting in the Hunter's Dream in the hub world, and just for the sake of the lulz, because I'm playing, I chose the character that I've beaten the game 2 times already on, and I put a gem on my weapon that gradually depletes your health till I, die just for the sake of the lulz.
Mm-hmm.
3 times already. I'm almost dead. And when someone rates your note fine, a note that you can leave in the game world, you go back to full health. 3 times this has happened. Why won't the world just let me die?
Because your notes are too
Because
damn
you're
good.
valuable.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right.
You're valuable to me, George.
I love you. Well, I don't
No,
love myself.
no, hold on. It's funny that you mentioned that before, because I was also going to ask you guys. What's more painful? A sequel that should have happened but never happened, or just a bad sequel to a beloved franchise of yours?
It depends on who you ask. Personally, I've been scorned way too many times by the fact that I wanted a sequel that never happened. Either that has been taking years to happen, or it got officially canceled. Like I said before, I've been waiting for Metroid, I've been waiting for fucking Kingdom Hearts, I've been waiting for what's it called? As far as cancellations go, Mega Man, and it's just like,
oh man,
Lord. But then you have I am one of them, but not as hardcore as I used to be. God bless the hearts and souls of all hardcore Sonic fans. Oh my God, they've been fucked in the butt since 2001, since Adventure came out.
They literally have been getting completely.
Oh, these poor bastards.
Been getting dicked around by fucking Sega for years.
They've had a couple of wins on handheld consoles, but as far as
and then getting
go,
just getting generations and stuff.
But
even that's hey, we talked about it before on the last podcast. But it's hey, here's most of the old shit again.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
As great as that is, it's just can I get a full Sonic game that isn't S? Dude, come on, man.
But then you have situations where it's the worst of both worlds. Duke Nukem Forever.
Yep.
Fucking people waited ages. Was it 10, 11 years for this game? And it came out ass.
What's great, though, is...
Go ahead.
Getting a sequel that you, first of all, didn't expect and came out bad fucking tastic. All right. Two separate ones. The new Doom, fantastic.
Woo,
fucking awesome.
Excellent.
Bro, I guess I was amongst the few that I thought the Doom game was going to be good, but there were a lot of people who thought this new Doom game was going to be terrible.
Because of Doom.
And the last Doom was terrible.
Oh, 3?
Doom 3?
Yeah, it was garbage. Yeah, it was terrible. And then also what's cool is when you get a resurgence. After a long time of getting shitty sequel after shitty, maybe not shitty, but definitely disappointing.
You're talking Wolfenstein?
Resident Evil 7.
Oh, that's
Biohazard is so cool, dude.
Because see, the last good Resident Evil was 4.
It's 4. Well, not good, but see, because some people liked 5, some.
Yeah. Most people hated 6.
Didn't people like Revelations?
Because here's the thing. Then you start getting.
And then there's Umbrella Corps. Holy shit!
As far as main series,
dude.
For Resident Evil,
but even
numbered games.
Well, no. Even just as a Resident Evil fan, getting all these games that were either mediocre or subpar at best, or just complete ass like Umbrella Corps. To get 7 and have it be refreshing, that feeling must be fucking magical, dude.
Yo, let me tell you.
Because I liked 7, but I'm not a hardcore Resident Evil fan, and I liked it, and I felt its impact. I can't imagine the hardcore fans on it.
Let me tell you about a sequel that burned me. Me really badly. Because I do agree with what you're saying, but I think I'd rather take no sequel over a bad sequel. A little known gem, Star Wars: The Force Unleashed.
Oh, baby, so good!
That first game?
Don't start with me, man.
Fantastic.
Kurn, don't do this. Kurn, don't do this.
When I found out a second game comes out, not only does it make the first game story not make any goddamn sense, it ends on a cliffhanger and does so poorly.
Yeah.
They will not end this cliffhanger.
George, I'm gonna let you go first because I'm about to rant like an monster in a second.
But I do want to say on the other side of the spectrum, Titanfall 2, so fucking good, performed poorly because it came out a week before Battlefield 1.
It came out in between Yeah, it
I'm
came out
so
in between
scared.
Battlefield 1 and the new COD game.
I'm
Yeah.
so scared that
The
there
last
will not
COD
be a
game.
Titanfall 3.
I mean,
See, I mean, EA shot themselves in the fucking
Yeah,
dick
'cause
with that.
they're
That's
both
just
EA.
honestly stupid idea. Stupid.
but I mean, like,
But
can I
that's the
just
other
say
side of the
really
spectrum.
quick, not Battlefront, fucking
Force
Force
Unleashed.
Unleashed 1 goes, one of my absolute favorite things to do in that game is go back to the first mission to play through the story again, but do it with cheat codes.
Oh my
'Cause
god,
the
those cheat codes are amazing.
It made you absurdly broken, but it was just like, this is amazing. I am God.
See,
But,
aren't
alright.
OP characters the best?
Yeah. See,
Alright.
like, all right. Here's the other thing, as far as sequels go, how to do sequels the right way. Granted, takes a long time for this company to put them out, but I
think I know where you're going
can't
with this.
genuinely think of a bad main series GTA game at all, because I don't think there are any.
Well, no one ever talks about 1 or 2, so I think that franchise. kind
No,
of
but
starts-
when 1 and 2
No,
came
but 1
out,
and 2 came out, they were
amazing.
they were
People
crazy.
loved it because it was new, it was different. It was a game where you get to
Yeah.
basically slaughter people.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
granted, it was a top-down perspective, but still,
Yeah.
like, it was
But
great.
yeah,
I mean,
compared to 3,
there's
4
been
is godly. Compared to 4, 5 is godly. I still play
Yeah.
5.
Like I said, main series.
everyone's been playing 5,
Yeah.
dude.
Because there's some, I don't know if you guys knew about this. There's a GTA game on the DS.
Chinatown.
Yeah, Chinatown
Mhm.
Wars.
Chinatown, yeah.
I played it. It's weird. It's.
I mean, for me, you know where I thought you were going?
hmm
I thought you were going Valve.
Oh, dude, stop.
Dude,
But
Valve.
Valve can't count to 3.
No,
Valve
they cannot.
can't count to 3. If I had to pick any Valve game to get a third game, it would be Portal without that. I
Yeah.
fucking love Portal.
Mhm.
Portal 2 was fantastic. Yo, Wheatley was hilarious. The gameplay was just
Spot on.
amazing. It was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Ugh,
All right,
God.
can we all
But
have
see,
a
like-
collective nerdgasm for 1 second?
No
Yeah, I
way.
think this whole thing's been an nerdgasm. What are you saying?
Well, this
the
one
basis
might.
of this podcast.
You'll know what I'm going at here. So,
No.
4 is a great game, right? GTA 4,
Mhm.
Yes.
great game. Think about how much better 5 is compared to 4.
How much
Everything.
better 6
Or
is
think,
going to
or
be
think
compared
about
How much better
or think
6
about,
would be?
Or think about how much better 4 was compared to 3.
Yeah.
They are
The
currently
difference
working
in
on a
every
game
game goes up, man.
called Red Dead Redemption
Red Dead
2.
Redemption 2! Oh my fucking god, baby!
Dude, that first game is my hands down favorite game of all time.
Yo, Red Dead 2 is gonna be.
It's not John Marston though, right?
No, the theory is it's
It's
a
a
prequel,
prequel,
and
right?
one of the 7
It's a
guys you can
prequel.
play as will be a young John. Because Red Dead
Ooh!
Redemption, for anyone who doesn't know, is about a former outlaw who's being forced to go back and hunt down his old gang. Since this
Betrayal.
new game, you play as 7 different characters. The theory is it's a prequel, and you're playing as his old gang.
It's gonna
Like,
be. It's gonna be. It's
And
gonna
one
be
of the guys
fantastic.
and the silhouettes on the cover art, one of them looks like John, and 3 of the others look like the other 3 characters you meet in the game.
That's gonna be fucking great,
See,
dude. I
here's the
cannot
thing about
wait for
Rockstar.
fucking that thing.
Rockstar takes forever to put out a sequel,
But
they
they're all
always do it
quality.
right.
They're
always
all
do it
quality.
right.
And that's
though.
what you do.
That's the
Take
thing.
your time. I don't need it this year. I don't need it every year.
Yeah.
Give it when it's done.
That's exactly. And it's funny too, because George. See, George is one of the few fans that like, if they announced Kingdom Heart for like 2019, you'd be like, good, give it to
Oh
Valve.
yeah, no. See, I've been waiting for Kingdom Hearts for so long
That you
yes,
can
there's-
wait.
There's part of me that wants it like literally yesterday.
But if it's gonna come out like ass, if they
Exactly.
can make it better, why not? Well, I don't see why anyone would
'Cause-
not.
all right,
You know,
Kingdom Hearts is kind of a special case though, because all right, I've played all the Kingdom Hearts games. All, if I remember right, there's 9 now, not including remakes and HD remasters. The story that they've written themselves into is so convoluted. It's so so confusing if you don't like know everything about the lore in the world.
Well, everything's explained in 2.00753.
It was supposed to be explained in 2.8 to an extent, but it never fucking... Like, I played 2.8, right? And there are some questions that got answered, right? So,
Is there actually a
2.8, the actual game that was supposed to give answers was part of... Because 2.8 is a collection of 3 games. Technically 2 games in a movie. Fuck me. The game that was supposed to explain things was the new original game, which was Kingdom... This fucking title gets everyone every time.
Oh, the collection.
Kingdom Hearts. No. This is the game, the actual newer game in the collection. It's Kingdom Hearts Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep 0.2, a fragmentary passage. All right? Yeah, it's a fucking mouthful. Yeah, I know. It makes sense if you know the story. I hate the fact that I have to say that, but it does. So, the game is, if you're good at Kingdom Hearts, hour and a half. If you're playing through it to get everything you possibly can, and you're still good at the game, maybe 3 hours. I finished that game like 3 times. That game left me with infinitely more questions than it answered, as they always fucking do. And Kingdom Hearts 3 is supposed to be the end of the Xehanort saga. Of this saga that was started with Kingdom Hearts 1, it goes across all these games. I'll be honest with you, I don't know how long Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to be, but they better pull some shit to be able to actually close out the series.
It's probably going to do what Final Fantasy 15 did, which is, like, you can tell when they have to start finishing the game fucking now, when this massive adventure turns into a series of hallways. But hallways filled with plot.
Please don't say that.
Hallways filled with plot.
Oh, I don't want to... Like, alright, if the story for Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out and it's not good, or they fuck it up, or they cop out on the ending because they wrote themselves into a corner and don't know what to do.
I don't know how they would recover from something like that.
I would be so mad. I mean, granted, the Kingdom Hearts franchise has made Square Enix
They'll recover because they're Square Enix.
Of money. Well, yeah, because Square Enix has so many other intellectual properties they can lean on.
But like, see, a problem I could see though is that like, this storyline has to end at 3.
It is ending.
Because
it's not that
no. That's what I'm saying though. But like, it has to be resolved, not just in the sense that the story's gonna end. It has to answer everything.
Yeah.
Because if you leave off with questions and you start a whole new saga like they're planning on it, the ones who suffer are you guys, the fans.
Yeah.
Or they put out 3 and then a movie that explains all the cliffhangers.
I hope not, because the movie they put out with 2.8, again, answered like a question maybe.
I heard it gave you guys so many questions.
Oh, dude, it was so...
You guys were so
It was a good movie,
off.
but it just, my soul broke. But here's what I don't want to happen, because here's what's possible that could happen. They could put out Kingdom Hearts 3. The story could end up with not all the questions answered, but if they write it a certain way, they could make it so they quote-unquote, will answer them in the next saga, because technically speaking, depending on how they go about doing this, the next quote-unquote saga is still going to be tied into what happened in this saga.
I mean, technically, is this saga going to be, do you think that, well, is there anything confirmed on the next saga being... No. I mean, this is the end of the Xehanort saga. It could be just the end of Xehanort himself.
That's the thing.
But it could continue on with...
Sora, Riku, Kairi.
Yeah, so those questions...
I'm wondering if there's like a parallel between like what Naruto has been doing, where there's the series Naruto, and then there's Shippuden.
No.
Thing is, like,
no. Shippuden is just the name of the second half of the anime. Yeah. The entire manga is just called Naruto. The actual manga itself is just Naruto.
Basically, they just named Shippuden. They gave it the name Shippuden
to differentiate
after the time skip.
Yeah,
there was
right.
Like
all they did.
But they could always, be like, this is the end of the Xehanort saga, and now for the rest of the story, this has been chapter 1.
I'd be so mad. You have no idea. They're gonna call it chapter 1. Fuck it. Out of here.
That's dumb.
Oh god. I've heard people debate online and even in person what is more complicated, the Metal Gear games or the Kingdom Hearts games as far as plot. And honestly, I don't think I could tell you which is worse, because the Metal Gear franchise is over, and
hopefully
5 ended with again a lot of questions unanswered because
the game's not done.
Yeah, because Konami rushed the shit out of that game because they're pieces of human
garbage.
and
And
then
they cut
added
the final
to
level.
the end of it.
Oh, God.
They're actually. I don't want to get into Konami.
And
It's fucking
you know
bullshit.
what? It's such a big middle finger to Konami as a company and as people for what they did because the Phantom Pain came out and it is still fantastic.
Oh, the
Well, the
gameplay was
gameplay
butter.
is fantastic. That
Gameplay
story
was
is
butter,
hot
man.
garbage.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, most people played it for the gameplay, man.
Mhm.
Yeah, because they made it an open world game, an open world stealth game, and you're big boss. Like
I'm sorry.
Like, what-
I can destroy the generators with a water gun.
What else do you need? What else do you fucking need?
ah,
And
But
then-
see, like,
ha!
you're right.
Well,
You're totally
stop
fucking
fighting.
right.
I mean, yeah,
No.
he is.
I guess for me, like a franchise that's done sequels right is definitely Uncharted. Every
Mhm.
Uncharted
Oh, yeah.
game is fantastic, dude.
Without a doubt.
Even the
And-
spin-off game for the Vita was fucking wonderful.
I even heard that too, man. But see, like, all right, here's. Without getting into the ending of it, I am scared for The Last of Us 2, mostly just because like there's always a chance things could go wrong. Not that Naughty Dog usually gets it wrong. It's just the fact that you never know it could.
Mhm.
Because like most people don't. A lot of people can agree like as a fully realized game, Dark Souls 1 was absolutely amazing.
Mhm.
And then 2 came out. 2 came out like a steaming pile of garbage. And like
Yep.
while not technically a bad game, it's just it. Without the lead developer there, without the main Hidetaka Miyazaki, without him there, it just felt like they didn't understand the concept of what Dark Souls is supposed to be. Excluding the fact that Miyazaki wasn't there, most of the fucking developers were the same.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to think how much just the director not being there.
Well, because the thing is that the Dark Souls franchise it was Miyazaki's vision. He had people help him develop the game and the story to an extent, but like the world itself, the reason that most people love Dark Souls, the world that he built in his head and then put into a game was his own.
Yeah.
And the fact that he didn't make Dark Souls 2, it shows. It shows
Because-
that it was someone else's
Because
vision.
Dark Souls 2 feels so lost in itself. Because Dark Souls 2, what I personally dislike the most about 2, besides the fucking hitboxes, don't even get me started on that. So the difficulty in Dark Souls has always been about the phrase you hear it all the time: tough but fair.
Yeah.
But the reason why tough but fair works with Dark Souls is that while you can be staggered by your opponent in Dark Souls 1, you can stagger them back. That's fine. You can do stuff like that. With 2, is the fact, like what pissed me off was that the difficulty felt so manufactured. You know what they did? Kurn, do you know about Dark Souls 2? Do you know how they made it difficult?
I don't. How?
They fucking threw more enemies at you.
Yep,
It was
they
just a
ganked you.
pure gank fest. That's all
So
it
it just
was.
became
It's
overwhelming.
just- Yes, it's the point where like it wasn't fair, and like people might complain and call me a bitch that I couldn't handle it, but like it felt so artificial. Like there's this area, and George can tell you this because I watched him play the game, but I didn't actually play up to this part because I did play Dark Souls 2, and I was just like, no, I can't play this. I just don't like this.
He got straight up disgusted.
Bro, the Lost Bastille.
Fuck that place. Fuck
There,
the last
there's explain like where the bonfire is, and you just go straight, and where you go to the right when you go to avoid the Turtle Knight. Remember that hallway that goes in, and like you see a guy, and you're like, oh shit, it's a skeleton guy. I'm gonna just fight him, bro. I was watching George play it, and he fought this guy, and bro, out of nowhere, just 6 guys just come running out,
Yep.
and just straight up murk him.
Because the thing is that, like he said, well, I mean, all right, Kurn, I'm assuming you're familiar with the term ganking. If not, we'll obviously explain.
I'm not.
So when you get ganked in anything, typically it tends to be referred to in the Dark Souls franchise, but it applies to any game or any medium. When you get ganked is basically when it's one being you versus an unfair amount of enemies. So in Dark Souls, obviously, fighting 3 dudes at the same time, that shit's challenging. But then when you, like you said, when you see the one guy, like you should expect in a Dark Souls game to be ambushed from the side. I get that. But being ambushed by 6 other enemies at the same time
Jesus.
is ganking.
There's also
it's
an
bullshit.
area It's on the way to I think the Forest of Fallen Giants, near the beginning of the game.
Oh,
There's a tree, right? And there's a bunch of corpses on the floor. When I say a bunch, I probably mean like 15, Kurn, 15. And as you walk to get an item close to it, bro, the corpses get up.
Oh,
And in that one area, if you're not careful, you'll be taking on. Now, granted, in 2 hits you can kill them, but granted, you are taking on about 15 people at once.
It's bullshit. Like, as someone who's played, obviously,
It's it's not. It's artificial difficult. Any game can throw low health, hard hitting enemies and massive amounts of enemies. Any game can do that. That's not what makes Dark Souls Dark Souls.
Exactly. It's bullshit. It's dumb. It doesn't.
It's lazy.
Feel good.
It's lazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It feels almost lazy.
It just is lazy.
Yeah.
And then I don't even want to talk about.
You know what's
the
even
boss.
worse about Dark Souls 2? It looks like ass. Bro, I have the Scholar of the First Sin version on PS4. Bro, it looks terrible. It looks honestly terrible.
Like, there's some areas where the game looks nice.
Oh, I mean, Drang Leak is beautiful.
Yeah,
But
but like it's just like
If Dark Souls 1 just got a slight graphical update, it would look way better than Dark Souls 2.
yeah, because I feel like the art style, not the art style, the graphics and animation were like it felt like a not Souls game.
It
I don't know
felt-
what it.
What
Not
system
lazy
did
as
the
shit.
first game come out for?
PS3.
Okay.
Well, no, it was
The
it was
first
a
Souls
multi-platform.
game is
PS3 and Xbox.
the first Souls games
Well, I mean the one you're
officially
talking
is
about.
Demon Souls.
Oh, Dark
Okay,
Souls 2
so Dark Souls 2 came out for PC, the 360,
and PS3.
and PS3, and then we got an updated, for the new console versions called Scholar of the First Sin. It came with the base game and all the DLCs.
Yeah,
So like the
See-
deluxe edition, kind of.
basically.
Essentially, the remastered version, I guess you would say.
The first Souls game was Demon Souls, and that was a PS3 exclusive. And then came Dark Souls, Dark Souls 2, Bloodborne, and then Dark Souls 3. Oh, Dark Souls 3. Oh, we haven't touched Dark Souls 3 in a while.
We haven't touched it in a while. We've been playing we've been watching more shit lately.
Yeah, we've been watching stuff. We've been playing a game specifically in particular that we'll talk about another day.
We'll elaborate more
Yeah,
later on.
we've been breaking
But-
some laws, man.
Wonder
But
what
see,
you
like-
guys could be talking about.
Oh yeah, Super Mario Brothers.
But
Oh,
see,
yeah,
like
of
that.
course.
And see, like that's what Dark Souls 2 is almost the perfect example of what a sequel shouldn't do. Like it didn't keep with the vision of the original to the point where it almost felt like a different franchise
Yeah.
in a bad way. In a bad way.
It felt like one of those games that people call a Souls-like,
Yeah, dude.
which is a shame because it's
Yeah,
truly
dude.
a
And like,
Souls game.
it's just Dark Souls 2 is just like by no stretch of the imagination is it a bad game. It's just a very disappointing game. It's lackluster. And that's my problem, coming full circle. That's my problem with a lot of sequels nowadays, is that if they come out great, that's fantastic. Beautiful. Mwah. Love you.
Mhm.
But a lot of the times what we seem to be getting is lazy garbage. And I don't appreciate that. Like, especially when it's a cash grab, man. Fuck my life when it's a cash grab. And when you know it's a cash grab, that's even worse. You know what, George? I'm going to let you rage for a second. You know what game, George? Oh, George.
What?
This game, well, it kept the visual style.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't stay faithful to what the originals, to the feel of the originals. The gameplay was garbage.
I feel the salt welting.
Open world
Oh no.
was useless.
I'm getting excited.
They basically butchered the personalities of of the 2 main characters that you grew up knew and loved. Honestly, the best part about the game was the music.
Why are you doing this to me?
Banjo-Kazooie,
Stop it!
Nuts and
Nuts
Bolts.
and Bolts was the biggest disgrace to the Banjo-Kazooie franchise ever! Oh my lord! Banjo-Tooie was so good! It was so good! It took everything that Banjo-Kazooie did, made
You might
it
have
so
gone
much
so far.
better, and then we're like, oh! Next progression is obviously naturally Banjo-3! Fuck the name, I don't even care! It was supposed to be good! It was supposed to live up to it! And then they're like, fuck you! We bought Rareware, we're Microsoft, we're gonna fuck your childhood! And then they did!
sweet baby. Jesus. You know what?
Like
You know
what? Like see, now looking back at it, Banjo-Kazooie might have just been a glorified platform collect-em-all.
Yep.
But dude, at least the worlds had life and personality.
It was a collectathon that
were
was
unique.
fun to collect things. That's what Rare did so well. Yo, Rare made Donkey Kong 64. Fuck anyone who doesn't like that game. I love that game. But guess what? Never gonna get a sequel. Never gonna get a remake. Because Nintendo can't do it. Because the fucking property is split in half. Nintendo owns Donkey Kong, but the fucking Donkey Kong 64 game was made by Rare, who's owned by Microsoft. Fuck Microsoft! The things that could have happened. The things that Rare could have done if Microsoft hadn't been like, hey, I'm Bill Gates, I'm gonna just whip my dick on this table and you're gonna give me what I want. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Now what's their excuse for no Conquer sequel?
That's still owned partially by Nintendo, I think.
Is it? I think there's no excuse.
I think
they
Conquer
technically can.
No, they did. They did make a Conquer sequel.
They made a remake, Live and Reloaded.
They made a remake that was ass.
Remade it. Yeah, they just haven't made anything else because they just don't give a shit. Because Microsoft, again, just fucking, they just don't fucking
see,
give a shit.
Yeah, and like that is everything that George just said is true for a lot of games and a lot of properties. Like, bro, and everything I said about Dark Souls is literally the same as Nuts and Bolts, dude. The game felt so fucking forced, and the car mechanic that just made no sense. Dude, it changed everything. It was bullshit.
Like, I
Because
don't
now the
understand
worlds have to
why.
be open and empty so you could drive through them.
Yeah, exactly. The thing is that, like, all right,
The best parts about Banjo-Kazooie are when you're not in the car.
when I look at Nuts and Bolts, like,
The game's still beautiful.
It looks great. The levels, if you put stuff in them, would be amazing. Because the design for the levels and the concepts are awesome. They definitely stick with the feelings of what Banjo-Kazooie was supposed to, supposed to be. But then they were like, all right, we're going to make it look and kind of feel like it. And then we're going to take everything that you would put in it, rip it out, make stupid side missions, and then give you cars.
Well, that's
who
that's why they had to be
cares
empty.
about cars? What'd you say?
That's why they had to be empty. Because
That's
you
why it had
can't
to be empty,
traverse
so
a
you could-
terrain that's full of stuff. You have to be able to go from point A to point B without stopping every 5 seconds.
Yeah, and you know what
shouldn't have made it a game about cars.
And you know what the worst part is? The absolute worst part is, bro, the driving was bad.
It was ass. I played that, bro. Oh shit! I'm pretty sure that I broke that disc.
You did. You broke it at my house.
I did. I fucking shattered it in half because I was just like, fuck this game. Fuck everything about this game. Oh.
We also destroyed Sonic 06.
Oh, stop.
You know what's funny is that me and George stayed over one night, right? And me and George are like, yo, we're gonna play Twilight Princess. We have my Wii. This is gonna be lit. And then we went to GameStop, I think, a little bit earlier, and I looked at it and I was like, bro, Nuts and Bolts is like $3. And he's like, yeah, so fucking what? And I was like, I'm gonna buy that shit. We're gonna play that shit at my house.
Bro,
So
I made it 5 minutes
I
into the game.
bought the game. We got home, and we did a couple of the missions. First of all, the water animation, beautiful, bro. There was this one where George had to like go down this loop, and it was impossible. Not because it was hard, because the driving mechanics were ass. It was terrible. And I'm like, how does a driving game? How do you fuck up driving in a driving game? That's like the worst thing I've ever heard.
By being Microsoft and by buying Rare and then ruining my childhood. That's
It was bad, dude. It was bad.
Oh,
It was
God.
bad. It was bad, dude.
Well,
gentlemen,
On
I
that
feel
note-
like, I feel like I've ranted enough for today.
Yeah, my voice fucking hurts, bro. My voice hurts. Too much screaming.
I think
By the
this was
way-
a great podcast and an even better therapy session.
Dude,
yeah,
I just want to say
definitely.
one quick thing. With all my blackened soul, because I didn't get to rant on this earlier, so I'm gonna just say one thing. I fucking hate the Force Unleashed 2. I fucking hate the game, dude.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah, you never got a
Oh,
chance to
I never
do
got,
this.
dude. Fuck it.
Don't get me
Fuck it with the
started.
shovel. Fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck it and fuck EA. Fuck EA. 13-13 should have happened.
Oh,
Peace.
why do you
Should've
keep
happened.
making me
Yeah.
mad?
So, all right. So, by the way, just want to say a couple things before we go.
Mhm.
So Absolver just came out.
Ooh, baby, we picking that bitch
So
up.
me and George are gonna pick it up soon, and hopefully with the help of our great friend Kurn,
Yes.
we can have a review out for Absolver, and hopefully within the next couple of days we'll also have a long-awaited Lawbreakers video. Hopefully
Yes.
that will happen soon.
The
hopefully.
Lawbreakers
But-
review is coming. I've just been sick for the past few days.
And you know what? That's perfectly fine.
Yeah, me and
then-
Oscar have had quite
yeah,
the
and then-
brutal week.
The Absolver video will definitely out.
Mhm.
Love the cannot wait. But yeah, usual stuff. We'll be on Twitch. And follow us on Twitter. Vote on the polls. Vote on the polls.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you guys have ideas, we'd be happy to hear them, and then
We'll
hopefully
talk about
nominate them.
anything, dude.
Yeah,
We'll-
and
yeah.
even for the few who make it through all these podcasts, in the comments, let us know which format you prefer, where we have like a topic for the whole time, or we just sort of ramble
Freelance.
and tangent to tangent until time runs up. The episode 2 and episode 3, we're using different recording software. Let us know which one you think sounds better.
If something sounds
And
like ass,
Any way
tell
we can
us
improve,
it's ass.
please let us know.
Okay.
Yep, and hopefully by the next podcast we'll at least have the Lawbreakers video up. But if not, we'll see you guys next week.
Next week.
Adieu.